Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays with yours truly. I am Hope. I am healing others' pain every day. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to my old subscribers. Welcome to my new subscribers. It's been a while. I think the last time I posted, it was sometime in June. I was just trying to figure out how I was going to uh, continue to do my mental health Mondays in addition to working full time and completing my master's degree. But I have completed my master's degree as of September 15th. Woohoo! It is over, y'all. So I'm back in full effect with the mental health Mondays where I will be discussing topics around mental health and wellness in order to improve and sustain the quality of lives of people, but especially African Americans. Okay, because unfortunately, in the African American community, mental illness therapy, things of that nature, are not talked about. They're stigmatized. And they're brushed under the rug as if not talking about it will make it go away. And I am an avid advocate of being proactive in order to achieve and sustain mental health and wellness. So without further ado, tonight's topic is, I think I may suffer from a mental illness. Now what? So first and foremost, I want to say, I just want to acknowledge and I want to congratulate anyone who feels like they may be suffering or they may have a mental illness. I want to just send you words of encouragement for first and foremost acknowledging that there may be an issue. That's the first step to getting healed. That's the first step on your healing journey. And one of the things that I always say is healing is a journey. It's not a destination. So I just want to commend you for anyone who is watching this who, maybe the title stood out to you. I commend you for even acknowledging that there may be an issue. Number one of my suggestions would be if you do feel like there may be, you may be dealing with some mental health issues. I would definitely, if you can, reach out to some family members, find out if there is any generational history of mental illness, because according to the NAMI, the National Association for Mental Illness, it has been proven that most mental illnesses are generational, and it's cyclical. There's been a lifespan of family members who may have been or may not have been diagnosed previously with a mental illness. So I would start there, do a little research, talk to some family members as to, has there been any, is there any knowledge of prior mental illness in families. I would also speak to your doctor. I would make an appointment with a primary care physician to just discuss some of the things that you may have been, you may be encountering as far as signs and symptoms. Have a conversation with a physician, and they will refer you to a community behavioral health center that can assist you further with, finding a therapist or a mental health professional, so on and so forth. Excuse me, guys. I'm looking at my bullets because I want to make sure that I'm, discussing everything that I need to discuss. As far as signs and symptoms can vary as far as mental illness. There's not one thing, or there could be 10 different things, but it depends on the mental health disorder. So, one of the things that I want to make clear though is that, a lot of the times people get anxiety and depression confused, or they intertwine them. Now, anxiety is a form of depression, but I'm gonna make it, this is my definition of the difference between anxiety and depression. So depression, you just don't give a shit. You don't care about anything. You don't care about eating. You don't care about getting up in the morning. You don't care about looking good or getting dressed or being with friends and families, you just don't care about anything because you don't have the energy. Depression is crippling. It's physically and mentally crippling. Whereas anxiety, you're worried about everything. So you're worried about what you're going to wear today. You're worried about what you're going to wear tomorrow. You're worried about what you're going to wear 10 years from now, if that makes sense. So depression is not caring about anything. Anxiety is caring about everything too much. Okay, so that's the difference. There are, however, 10 common mental illnesses that the National Association of Mental Illness, they pretty much say that these are the most common diagnoses of mental illness. So I'm going to start with number 10 and work my way down. Number 10 being autism spectrum disorder. Number 9 is schizophrenia. Number 8 is bipolar disorder. Number 7 is panic disorder. Number 6 is anxiety disorder. Number 5 is phobias, and phobias meaning, fear of something. The main social, one of the primary phobias and main phobias are social anxiety, which is fear of being around a huge group of people or just people, period. Number 4 is ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, eating disorders, bulimia, anorexia, personality disorder, and then we also, we also have mood disorder. So I always say, for as a mental health professional, as a therapist, one of the things that I get my clients to do is to journal. I have them journal. And journaling, number one, is a way for them to write down their thoughts. And it's also it's also a means of getting them to identify when certain triggers come about, and to possibly figure out, not only to document when it happened and how often it may happen, but try to get to why. What made you feel this way? What triggered it? Why do you feel upset? Why were you angry when you wrote this? Why were you sad when you wrote this? Why were you crying? It's a way to help you identify, how often these signs and symptoms occur and why. It helps in that manner. One thing that I wanted to touch on is, I said earlier, is that, in the African American community, we are taught to not talk about things, and especially things that are uncomfortable, and it has done us a major disservice as a culture, because it even takes me back to, growing up as a child, when they used to say, be seen and not heard. What? Why would I not want to be heard? And as a child, sometimes you don't question it. I know I didn't, because it was basically do as you're told. But now that I'm into my adulthood, I realized how that saying is crippling, because you're teaching your children how to silence themselves. You're teaching your children how not to speak up. You're teaching your children that, you're physically there, but you have no voice. That's totally crazy. So I know for a lot of us, it's definitely hard to be proactive in getting therapy, because we are taught the exact opposite. And we are taught to keep pushing, regardless of what you're going through. Well, I gotta go to work, I gotta feed the kids, I gotta cook for my husband, I gotta pay these bills, I gotta finish this paper, I gotta clean the house. It's always go, 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 go. But we are not created to function that way. We are not robots. We are human. We have feelings. So when you have that state of mind, it's very hard to try to, to start training yourself to think differently. I know from personal experience, I was liberated, because I was one of those people who would never talk. I might give friends and family baseline of what was going on with me, but I wouldn't really open up, because I always was taught that, not that it was a sign of weakness, but you just got to keep pushing. Yeah, challenges are going to come, but you just got to keep pushing. Man, listen. I had a nervous breakdown in 2010. And I didn't know what happened to me until I went to the hospital, and I think they called it exhaustion, but we going to call a spade, y'all. It was a nervous breakdown. And all I can remember is when it happened, my body just locked on me. I could not move. And that was my body, my mental, telling my physical, cut it, cut it, cut it. I had enough. My body was like, yo, I've had enough. And one of the things that I had told myself before I was discharged from the hospital was that I was never going to be in that position ever again. Ever. Because I am in control. You are in control. Regardless of what you have been through, whoever this is for, under the sound of my voice, you are in control. You do not, you do not, you do not have to suffer in silence. I'm going to say it again. You do not have to suffer in silence. There is help out here for you. Therapists, mental health professionals, we are here. We are trained. We are equipped. Okay? So stop suffering in silence. I'll be the first one to tell you, healing is not easy. It's not easy. But it's fucking beautiful on the other side. Excuse my French, y'all. I speak from the soul. It's beautiful on the other side. When I started going to therapy, yes, a therapist had a therapist. When I started going to therapy, I felt like, and I'm going to be honest, I had to go through two people before I found the therapist that was right for me. So also know that therapy is a journey. It's not a destination. Okay? Some of us may have therapy for 6 months. Some of us may have it for 6 weeks. Some of us may have it for 6 years. It's different for everybody. But one of the things that I tell people when it comes to therapy and when it comes to the healing process, don't let nobody speed your process up. Don't let nobody speed your process up. Your life is tailor-made for you. So whatever your healing process entails and takes, you do that because you are worth it. You are worth it. Your mental and emotional health and well-being is worth it. And don't let anybody speed up their process for you. Okay? So, that was my spill. So yes, so I'm just going to go through, the things that we talked about. Number one, if you think you may have a mental illness, talk to some family members to see if there is history of mental illness in your family. If it is, find out what they were, whether they were diagnosed or undiagnosed. Number two, reach out to your physician. If you have a primary care doctor or public health department, whatever the case may be, make an appointment to see a doctor so that you can discuss some of these signs and symptoms and some of these challenges that you have been encountering so that they can refer you out to a community behavioral health center or a therapist or a mental health professional. That's number two. Number three, educate yourself. In this world of the internet, you can pretty much get information anywhere. I am a advocate of the NAMI website, National Association of Mental Illness. They have stuff daily on there, with all kind of information that can help guide you and give you resources and everything related to any and everything related to mental health. Okay, so I would definitely utilize, Google stuff, look up, Google certain symptoms that you may be having. Just utilize it and do your research so that you understand what you're going through. And number two, I'm sorry. And lastly, know that you're not alone. Not understanding why you're acting the way that you're acting, or why you may be having certain signs and symptoms, or you may be having, certain characteristics. It can sometimes be even more frightening to not know why you're going through these things, as opposed to getting the help that you need to help you understand and digest. Once you understand what is going on with you, things will start to make sense. But you have to be proactive in your own sanctification. The one thing that I say about counseling and therapy is that as a therapist, you have to help me help you. So I can only help you, or a therapist can only help you as much as you are willing to help yourself. We are not magicians. And you have to be honest, and like I said, you have to be ready and willing to go through the muck, because it's going to get ugly before it gets pretty. But like I said, it's beautiful on the other side of that ugliness, and you are worth it. I hope that everybody has a great and productive week. I'm sending you peace, love, and light. You can also feel free to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram name is I_H, the number 0PE. I_H, the number 0PE. So it's I am Hope on IG. You can, follow me and get daily education, resources, and just inspiration. Just daily inspiration, for anyone that, is living with a mental illness, or living with someone with a mental illness. Like I said, you don't have to suffer in silence. There's help out here for you. And I just want everybody to have a great week. I will see you guys next Monday. Peace out.